What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Two Dimes and a Token. I'm your host, Brucknasty. And in this episode, we got to sit down with an awesome entrepreneur in our local area, a man by the name of Mr. Luis. He is the owner of Finesse Barbershop in Auburndale, Florida. Awesome dude. Absolutely fantastic. But before I get into the details of the episode, we got to make sure that we let you know that this podcast is sponsored by Death Grip Wax, the greatest, innovative, most incredible company and products that you can use for your facial hair needs. If you're looking to put the greatest mustache together in the entire planet, this is the company you want to go to. All right, and act now, because using the promo code 2 Dimes and a Token, that's all caps, no spaces, you get 20% off of your entire purchase. So make sure you check them out. Links are in the bio. Go check them out. Death Grip Wax, the greatest company on the planet, and the best products of all time for your facial hair needs. Oh, and this is what it looks like. Fantastic little design. Look at this thing. Just want to put some on right now. So, but as we dive into this episode, we get into a day in the life of what it's like to be a barber. We get into how his journey led him up to owning his own shop, how he plans on expanding to multiple shops around the state, around the county first, then going to the state. He's already in the process of getting more and more chairs. This guy is on the up and up. He's on the up and coming, right? He's on the rise. He's ascending. He's building himself a future, and he's building himself, what do we call it? Generational wealth. That's what we call it. So, amazing guy too. He has funny, very cool, great personality, and like I said, just a down home, like great guy to sit down and chat with. We got a big surprise for you in the middle of this podcast, so be sure to stay tuned. You got to watch all the way through to get it. But it may have to do with another side series that we have now decided to create. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But other than that, be sure to go check out the merchandise stores. We got shot glasses, we got beer mugs, we got t-shirts, we got everything. T-shirts as low as $11. And make sure you guys go subscribe. For the love of God, please subscribe to the podcast. Go to YouTube right now. Click that little subscribe button, right? Click the like button. Tell us that you love us. Obviously, we need those subscriptions so that we can continue to make fantastic content. We can continue to bring you phenomenal episodes. So please, again, for the love of Jesus, go subscribe to the podcast. And without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Luis of Finesse Barbershop. Let me see this moonshine you got, bro.
Oh yeah.
It's like you brought it. It's like you brought a cool little gift. What is this?
Oh, a little old smoky moonshine. You know?
Old smoky peppermint. This is our official drink of the pod. This is fantastic, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really inclined to. I'm gonna crack one real quick.
Hey, go for it, man.
Sweet, man. So, dude, super stoked to have you on. Love the social content you got going on there. And then I saw you cutting up a bunch of my boys' heads. So doing the big thing. So where's you said your shop's located in Auburndale, Florida?
Yeah. My shop is in Auburndale, Florida. We've been open for around 3 years now. Actually, 3 years as of this weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, we blessed, man. We've been there serving the community for 3 years now.
That's awesome, dude. So what got you into cutting heads, man?
Man, I to be honest, man, I wish I had an extreme
super story, right?
Super story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't one of those guys that was like, out in the street or anything like that. No, I really found it really, really dope growing up, going to the barbershop with my dad, the conversations that were had, just the different kinds of people that would be there, because it would be literally everybody from the mayor down to a janitor. Anybody and everybody could be there. Yeah. So and they would all commingle. So that was really dope.
That just like became your vibe. Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. So when did you start cutting hair?
I actually picked up the clippers at 14.
14?
Yep. And
God.
I'm 35 now, so
yeah, so master barber now, dude.
trying to get there,
dude. So what was that starting out like though? Like when you're 14 years old, like kind of cutting it up, learning a little bit. Do you practice on actual people, or do you practice on?
I practiced on myself to begin with.
Okay.
Because to be real, when I first got to Florida, there wasn't a lot of dope barbers in the area. So that's why I started to, kind of mess around and practice on my own head.
Yeah.
And then one of my homeboys actually came to my house and caught me doing it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey man, you're going to have to get me right."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey, let's go. Let's do it." And
bro, it's such a unique, to me, being a barber is such an intense job. It's so intense because to me, it's like looking fresh for a lot of people. It's weird because for me, I don't care at all. I don't care what I wear. I don't care about my hair. Every other human being that I know, got to have the fresh look. Like, got to go in there once a week. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you jack that up, like if I jacked it up and I'm like, hey, bro, it's going to grow back.
I mean, the thing is, you know what the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut is, right?
I mean, theoretically, I do.
It's about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it grows back.
Yeah.
So,
see?
so, I mean,
it's not life or death.
Yeah.
It is what it is. That's awesome, dude. So tell me about, after you got into it at 14, cut up your homeboy. What's going through the adventures? What led you to now getting into a shop? Did you have any shops before this one, or?
Yes, I actually worked at a shop in Plant City for closer to 8 years.
Yeah.
That's actually who gave me my start.
Yeah.
So shout out to my boy Carlos. That was my start. Over at My Town Barbershop, and from there, it just kind of took off for me. Like,
yeah,
I had actually had 2 jobs at the moment, and had to do that whole growing a clientele type deal.
Yeah.
And people were just great to me. And
God, what was that like going through? You're working 2 other jobs and then trying to do what you love to do on the side. Like, what's that like going through that portion of your life?
It actually kind of helped. It actually kind of helped because I was able to meet more people.
Yeah.
As I was doing both jobs.
Yeah.
And I've never been the type that's like, oh, well, that guy's not getting a cut with me, I'm not going to talk to him. No, I would, sit in the waiting area and, vibe with the clients and, got to know them. And then in turn, they would be like, oh, here's my kids. Oh, here's my dad, my neighbor, whatever. And then I started building a clientele from that.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very grateful to all those people.
That's dope, bro. By the way, this drink's pretty good. Not gonna lie, it's one you can get a little loose on.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man. Did you ever have any rough experiences coming up as far as getting into the game?
Oh yeah.
Walk me through some.
Oh
bro.
yeah, I've had quite a few. I actually had. Do you remember those barbershop posters that would be up on the wall and it'd have 20 or 30 horrible haircuts on them?
Hell yeah, they got one. They got those at like Sky Clips or some generic thing nowadays.
Well, I'm cutting this kid, and the mom says, "Oh, give him a 1." So I grab my number 1, snatch it on, run that number 1, and she says, "I'm at a 1 from the board." And this thing was way longer than what I'd done. I was like, well, you got a number 1 now, you know what I mean?
Like,
so, I mean, there's
2 weeks, baby.
Yep. I was like, I'll see you in about 2 weeks. Probably about a month on that one.
That's awesome, man.
So,
that to me, that's hilarious. If you did that to my son, I'd be like, listen, bro, you look better now. That's all I'm saying. So how did you evolve from that type? Because one thing I can tell you is the idea of fashion and the idea of looking fresh, like, has evolved so much over the last 15 years. Yes. I mean, think about it. Like when I was coming up as a kid and I was 8 and 9 years old, like I got that ghetto bold cut, you know what I'm saying? But like that was cool then.
Yes.
So like, how do you stay with the times going through and like teaching your guys and things like that?
Mostly is social media is a huge help right now.
Yeah.
But before that, it was TV, magazines, and just younger people that were coming in.
Yeah.
So I mean that honestly, to be 100% honest with you, that's a big fear of mine.
Yeah.
That I'll become the old guy in the barbershop, and the guys will come in and be like, he don't know what I want. So hopefully I'll retire before that.
No, dude, I feel you on that. Well. Because my brother, dude, if whenever you get a chance, I know you'll meet him, but my My brother gets a haircut every week, every 2 weeks. He's always got that nice skin tied up to the fade and all that stuff. So, but I've seen him do exactly what you're talking about. It's the reason I brought it up. I've seen him walk in and be like, "No, I'll wait on that, dude." You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I don't understand, and hopefully somebody can comment that later or something.
Yeah.
But what I've never understood, somebody will walk in and say, "Oh, I want that guy to cut my hair because he's got the same haircut I got." Well, I'm like, well, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
The guy next to me did it.
He cut it. Yeah.
Like, he could have asked me, "Hey, who cuts your hair?" But
I feel you on that. So you're basically doing the Spider-Man meme when they like, "Hey, everybody did this." Oh, wow. That's crazy, dude. So what was it like getting into your first building? Because you said this was your second, third shop, or?
Yeah, this is about third shop, and this is the first one I own.
Yeah.
Proudly owned, by the way. It's huge dream of mine, and it has surpassed it.
That's awesome.
Greatly. We started with just by myself, and then we grew to 2. Now we're 4 guys, hopefully getting to 6 by the end of the year. So
really,
we're growing pretty awesome. Fast.
Yeah. What was the first shop that you were in look like?
The first shop I worked at has had a few changes. As of now, is in a huge building. I think it's 12 or 14 barbers now. Like it's grown exponentially from the 4 that we used to be.
Were you just a barber in that first shop?
I was just a barber in that first
What's that like walking in your first like real like barber job? Like, do you have some fears going into that?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
He's like, yeah, bro, shit in my pants.
No, I mean, 100%. I mean, the guy that hired me was my barber for a long time. So It's like, man, it's almost like you're playing with Jordan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's everything you do. You're like, man, how would he do it?
Yeah.
And at first you hide. You're like, oh, well, let me go to the back of the shop.
Really?
Or let me go 4 chairs from him, or, whatever. But I would suggest to anybody starting off, hey, pick the brains of the old heads, man. Be next to them as much as you can. Learn as much as you can, because it'll come up. It'll come up.
Nice. What would you say is the best tip that you ever got from your mentor?
Best tip that I ever got. Best tip that I ever got was possibly just being real with people.
Yeah.
That's more important. Like the treatment of people, the way you take care of people is more important than that haircut.
So like building that book of business.
Yes.
Gotcha. What is the one thing you always hear about, and I'd love to ask about this, is like the barbershop conversations, right? He's already laughing. Yes. So have you, I mean, obviously there's got to be like off the spectrum type stuff.
Oh, like, from your run of the mill thing. Oh, my kid said this today. Oh, how cute. Hey man, I caught my old lady with somebody, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's there's rough. A lot of highs and a lot of lows.
Yeah.
And, this.
Wow, man, that's wild, dude. Have you ever gotten in, like, been listening and just been like, hold on, I need a minute?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's almost on the weekly. That's almost on the weekly. It doesn't happen quite as much now because the clientele I have now that I work by appointment only is mostly the same every week. Mm-hmm. So we kind of know, it's kind of become a family. So like, I know these people, like I know where they live. They know where I live. Like, really? They take care of everything. Like, that's amazing, dude. That's awesome. So being the owner in the building and like creating that type of culture. So I got to give you a huge that's fucking cool, man. Cause that's hard to find, especially in people do a lot of grinding, corporate America stuff. Anywhere you go and work for another business, a lot of times it's your number. And it's really difficult to find that place where it's like, hey, man, I got some shit going. No, it's cool. I got you. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Usually it's like, hey, well, you need to be here. You need to figure your shit out, and because we're more important than your life. You know what I mean? So I'd give a little kudos there. So you've gotten into this shop that you're in Auburndale now. What's the title of it? The name of the shop is Finesse. Finesse. I like that, dude. That's smooth. Yeah. So walk me through how you acquired the building and on that whole process and that journey. Well, COVID hit, and I was already in a shop, not too far from it. And I had that plan. That was the vision. When we moved to Auburndale 6 years ago, that was the vision that I would and eventually have a barbershop. Yeah. But with COVID hitting and all this other stuff happening, we were at home for almost 2 months. So it was kind of nerve wracking. Like, to put it to you this way, I got married on the 13th. And on the 17th, I opened my barbershop. So it was super nerve wracking.
Yeah.
But like I said, I found a place where I said, well, you know what? As long as I can afford it on my own, and I don't have to deal with, okay, well, this chair rent's going to pay the lights and this chair rent's going to pay this. And as long as I can afford it on my own, we'll run it. And we're still here.
That's awesome, man. That's fantastic. So how do you, I know there's different styles of ways people run their business, right? Some people will rent out a chair, right? Is that the majority way that it's done? Or?
Florida, yes, that's the majority here.
Yeah.
Up north usually is where they do a lot more of the commission based. That's a big deal for barbers. Like it's a big fight. Like
really,
a lot of guys are always thinking, oh well, the owner's gonna take 30% or 20%, but they don't think about the fact that hey, if I'm starting off, maybe I have 0%.
Yeah.
I'd rather make 70% of something than 100% of nothing.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys go, oh, well, I just give you, $200 a week and I'm done with you. If I make 1,000, I don't have to give you 300 or 400.
Yeah.
But that's if you make that 1,000.
Yeah.
Because
like you said, barbers starting out, you got to build the clientele. You got to get people in the door. So do you experience a lot of walk-ins to where people are just...
Our shop just recently started taking some walk-ins. We were majority appointment only.
Yeah, you did say that. I'm sorry.
Because of the small amount of help we had, but now we're starting to take in a lot more of the walk-ins and stuff like that. So
what would you say is the most difficult haircut that you can give? We interrupt this podcast to bring you Sunterra Solar Solutions, a leading-edge solar company committed to making sure they provide a phenomenal experience to its customers. Going solar was one of the best decisions that I ever made. Not only did they provide me a no-hassle experience, it didn't feel like a sales experience. It felt like an amazing person-to-person having a conversation on whether solar was going to be right for me. I was fortunate enough to not only lower my monthly energy cost, but they gave me an option to be able to create a stabilized monthly bill that I could prepare around. I qualified for a new customer incentive that put cash in my hand after installation, as well as I qualified for a tax credit at the end of that same year after I had it installed. All in all, not only was it the best decision I ever made, I lowered my monthly energy costs, I stabilized my bill, I put a ton of cash in hand. It felt like I got paid to go solar. And my most favorite part that I haven't even mentioned, it eliminated my exposure to future increasing rates from the utility companies. So if you think going solar is the right thing for you, by all means, hit us up in our DMs. We can connect you with a sales associate today. And now back to the episode.
Honestly, it doesn't really have to do with what kind of haircut it is.
Yeah.
The most difficult kind of haircut you can do is when the person doesn't know what they want.
Ooh, that's a great answer.
100% when they don't know what they want.
Dude's spitting right now. That's fantastic. I love it, dude. So when you encounter that, you just kind of guide people through it. And because I'm one of those dudes that I walk in and I'm like, hey, she told me this, and I show pictures. Like I'm one of those. I know you get them, dude. So that's how I am. Because if everybody that watches the pod will be like, yeah, bro, cut his hair. He looks like shit now. But you're right, dude. Imagine putting yourself, because that's one of the reasons why we love having different people on the podcast. Put yourself in a different set of shoes and figure that out. Imagine you're a barber and you're sitting there and you're like, hey, what kind of style you want? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's always the toughest thing, especially because you don't know what they envision themselves like.
Yeah.
And you don't know what they do. So
that's true.
Getting to know what a person does for a living. So how long they have in the morning to get ready.
Yeah.
Things like that. How much they actually care about doing their hair.
Yeah.
Because they might see a picture of, I don't know, Brad Pitt on a magazine somewhere or on TV somewhere and go,
yeah,
hey, I want that.
And I want that.
That doesn't really fit him.
Yeah.
Or he's not going to do that. Like, you're not going to sit there and blow dry it every morning.
Yeah. See, people don't realize a lot of prep that goes into those little photos when you're like, bro, I wish I looked like this. It's like, first of all, you need surgery to cover your face. Secondly, you got to get this hair and you got to put that maintenance in every day.
That's about when I jump out and I tell them I went to beautician school, not magician school. So I let them know.
Clip that. Oh, that's awesome, dude. So what would you say is the most challenging thing that you experience being the owner of the shop and having to kind of deal with people and things like that, not just customers, but also the people that work for you?
That's exactly it. It's dealing with different people. They're different characters where somebody might complain about something, the other person might find it okay. Where another person, something dumb as far as like, oh, well, the AC's too cold, or, well, this guy's hot now and this guy's cold.
Yeah.
You're going at it.
You're stuck in the middle.
You're stuck in the middle.
Between a kindergarten argument.
Yep.
No, I feel you on that, man. So,
but luckily, my guys are really on point. I really don't have that much of an issue. They make it really easy for me.
That's awesome, man. That's fantastic. So what would you say is your goal as far as like the future? Like you said, you have, by the end of the year, you want to have 6, right? Because you have 4 plus yourself.
Yes.
And you want to have 6 plus yourself. So you want 7 in the building. Like, do you see this going on to where you make chains, or do you see this as like, this is my homegrown shop?
That would be ideal. I would like to have this same experience in other places. I do understand how difficult that is with you not being there, but I think if we grow people,
yeah,
it'll be easier. If we grow a guy, a person that can run that shop, the same as if you weren't there, that'll make it a whole lot easier.
That's awesome. So now here we go. We're gonna dive into the nitty gritty right here. What is the biggest, because everybody watched the movie Barbershop, bro. We all know there's got to be some debates that go on.
These fucking barbers nowadays.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. What would you say is the biggest debate that you, your team, customers, all you guys come in and you just hear on the regular?
Oh my God, is LeBron the GOAT?
God, LeBron or Jordan?
LeBron or Jordan. That's the top one. LeBron or Jordan. I mean, really in football, there's like no contest. Everybody's like, well, pretty much consensus, Brady's the GOAT.
Yeah. So there's always a lot of sports talk conversation.
There's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then I would say between the barbers, it's got to be what tool's the best and pricing. Just, how do we scale, or how much are we going to make, or, oh, this guy's charging too much, or this guy's,
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of fluff going on online, so we hear a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
So
how do you now? Obviously, not educated in what you do, right? There's got to be a whole world when it comes to your equipment and the things that you use, and like that debate comes into hand. Like, how many people come in? Because I've been sitting in the chair and I've seen dudes come in, hey, lunch. Next thing you know, you're like $5. I can't imagine what it's like for actual equipment that you guys use, or materials or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, for equipment.
Really?
For equipment now, I mean, when I started cutting hair, the first pair of clippers I bought was $75, and I was like, oh my God, I got gold in my hands.
Elite.
Yep. Top of the line. Now, the cheapest thing is probably $150, maybe.
Really?
$200. You're like,
damn.
You're looking at a new set of clippers.
Holy shit. And that's the cheapest.
Yep.
That's not even the high quality stuff.
And I'm kind of like a clipperholic, almost like a sneaker freak. I'm kind of the same way
with dope.
Clippers. So like, if you went in the back of my shop, all you see is just clipper boxes. Just
clippers everywhere.
Yep.
I love it, dude. That's fantastic. So when you're experiencing like what you just talked about, and everything's kind of going up and up and up and up and up, how do you guys navigate the waters when it comes to increasing prices and everything, but also still trying to give like a quality haircut at a good price? Like, how do you guys balance that?
To us is giving value.
Yeah.
To us is giving value. If we're able to give you the best experience in town by far, we can charge basically what we want or what we need.
Yeah.
But also being conscious of, of the income of the city.
Yeah.
Because of course we can't charge, LA prices if we're not living in LA. So we're always working towards that, where we can maximize that, where the barber can make enough to live and the people can afford to get a haircut with you.
Yeah.
But we're also not going to be the cheapest.
Yeah.
We had to be able to, I had to change my mindset when it came down to that. I had to, I had to think, am I Walmart or are we Publix?
Yeah.
Which one are we? So
that's true. Publix is that quality. Not to mention every now and again they got them BOGOs. You know what I'm saying? I feel you on that. That's got to be, especially during COVID and after COVID, a unique avenue to travel down. Because one thing I'll tell you for sure is just from my experience, and it's weird, man. Because like, imagine me, I'm just a general customer, right? I get my hair cut. I am the abnormal. I get my hair cut once every 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Because I love growing it out. I just love that natural, burly, like Duck Dynasty look. But at the same time, like the normal person, I mean, you're talking once a month, right? Like once a month, you're going in, and that's the thing. And you're doing this 5, 10, 15, 20 times a day sometimes, depending on, how many appointments you got. So it's a very unique world to step into, and like making sure you're taking care of the people that come and trust you the most with their look while still staying competitive. Make sure you keep doors open.
Exactly.
So that's a unique avenue to travel down, dude. So diverting a little bit. So what would you say is the most unique experience that you've had? Going back again, everybody's seen Barbershop, right? There's always some crazy days. What would you say is the craziest day you've had as a master barber?
Craziest day, man. I saw a guy one time. It was one of the guys I used to work with.
Yeah.
Do this whole haircut. The haircut was great.
Yeah.
He didn't speak English. So, and the kid that he was cutting did not speak Spanish. So I'm there translating.
Yeah.
And he tells him, "Oh, tell him it's 25." I'm like, "All right, cool, 25." And I could see it looked sketch.
Yeah.
Kid was looking around, and he's like, "Can you go out the back?" And I'm like, "No, that's locked." And he's like, "Oh."
Dude's trying to bolt, bro.
He looked up front, and he goes, "Oh, can I get my money from my mom?" And I tell the guy, I translated that to him, and I also let him know, I go, "Hey, it looks kind of sketch. You might want to work with him."
This is great to know a second language right now.
So he starts going with him, and he opens the door, and he's like, "Oh, wait, hang on." And he turned around to ask somebody something, and the kid walked outside and bolted.
Yo.
Well, right next to us, there was a pet shop, and that's where he went. He went into the pet shop, into the back of the pet shop.
Why?
Like the warehouse side of the pet shop.
Yeah.
So I see him, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm going to go in the front door so I can make sure that he doesn't come out the front door, but you don't get away from this door.
Yeah.
You stay right here." 5 seconds later, I'm in the office looking at the cameras from the pet store, because I told them, I was like, "Hey, the guy went into your storage."
Yeah.
And my guy turned around and went to go get his phone. And when he went to get his phone, this kid took off.
No.
Yeah.
Your boy was pissed, I bet. Mad as hell. Damn, that sucks, dude. That's wild. I couldn't imagine that. Like, well, I can't imagine that, to be honest. I've seen that situation happen a couple times. Like, I've been in dude, wild story. When I was a kid, though, I was in a gas station. I remember I was buying a Snickers bar. Shut the fuck up, whoever makes a fat joke right now. All right, so I was buying a Snickers bar, and I'll never forget it, dude. This dude behind me, and at the time I was a kid, so I didn't really understand like alcohol and that type of thing. I know he had a 12-pack of something, and I just remember like looking behind me, and he was like, and just bolted out the front door and just like ran down the street holding this case of like Miller Lite. I was like, "Damn, bro, I can't wait to drink. It's got to be awesome if you're gonna steal it." Like, holy shit.
Oh no, we've gotten some of that. We get some of the, the guys that are in the street. They'll come in and it's like, "Hey man, can I clean your windows?" Or can we wash your car? Things like that, and they just take off. They don't do any of it.
Damn, that's rough, dude.
I actually had one. The first shop I worked at, my boss went on vacation, and he said, "Hey, I trust you. Run it." I was like, "Okay." He goes, "You know the one rule, right?" And I go, "If anybody gets in a fight, you're both fired." He's like, "Exactly."
Yeah.
Peace out. He left. He went on a cruise. I couldn't call him.
Yeah.
2 of the guys walk outside. They've been going at it all day. They've been jawing, making fun of each other. Simple barbershop stuff. You can't get mad, but they're going back and forth jawing. They're like, "You know what? Go outside right now." They both go outside, and I walk out there, and there's a dude that's maybe 5'7", almost 300 pounds, and there's another dude that's 6'4", almost 400 pounds.
Damn.
Standing in front of each other with cigarettes hanging out of the side of their mouths, like, "Come on, bro, bring it."
Holy shit.
So I open the door, and I'm like, "Hey, don't lose the fight and your job. Whoop his ass." And I close the door.
That's awesome.
I walk back outside, and the biggest dude is out there with his hands wide open like this. He's like, "Come on, bro. I don't want to fight you. Come on." He's asking him for a hug.
Yeah, he's like, "Bro, let's do this thing. Bring
the
it in
biggest
here."
one of the two, man.
Bro, that's awesome, bro. God, that's a wild experience. You know, it's funny, and I'm allowed to say it, and I'll ask him before we air it, but I got an awesome story about Mitch. Dude, I really do. It was hilarious. So Mitch, as you know, dude, Mitch is probably one of the most cool-headed human beings in the planet. Like, he's just, it doesn't, like an asteroid can be coming towards Earth, and he'll literally be like, "It's cool, bro." like that's Mitch. You know what I mean? Mitch. Hey, we're gonna do what we gotta do, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
That's 100%,
dude.
Mitch.
So it's like, one day we're at a place that him and I used to work at together. And I've been told several times, we've had to bleep it out a couple times because I can't say it because people watch from there and they're like, "Hey, we're waiting to see if they talk shit." So anyway, I'll never forget it, dude. A customer was talking to him about something. The customer was giving him a hard ass time, bro. Just lighting him up about the dumbest shit. Just trying to be a pain in the ass. And finally, dude, Mitch hits that moment, bro. And we had to wear shirts and ties when we were doing that, right? Mitch, I'll never forget it, bro. I rolled up and he's just like, "All right, bro." Undoes his tie, like calmly takes it off, lays it down. "Let's go, bro." Right in the front. And the guy's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what are you doing?" He's like, "Nah, bro, you wanted this." And he's like walking him down the entire parking lot, right? And the whole time I'm like, "This is amazing. I've never seen Mitch like this. Holy shit." Right? He comes back, and then finally we were like, "Mitch, go inside." He's like, all right, cool. So we went inside, and the guy was like, "Hey, man, that was ridiculous." And I was like, "Nah, bro, you're an asshole." And whatever we were doing, because I can't say what we were doing, I canceled out what we were doing. I was like, "Bro, you can leave." Right? And he just took off, went back, and he's like, "Nah, bro, dude was trying to get it."
The thing is, I could see it.
I know,
that's
dude.
the problem, is I could see it.
Bro, it was the funniest instance I had ever seen. I've never seen him lose his cool.
Oh, no.
That was the only moment I've ever seen him lose his cool. It was absolutely priceless, bro.
Listen, I think, and, you know, shouts out to him and congratulations.
Yeah.
I would pay money to see his face when he sees the kid.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to see how nonchalant he's going to be.
Honestly, it's probably like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to see him. If anybody that watches this will know who we're talking about, but the moment that I go, "All right, bro," like everyone will know. But if you saw you're right, his facial expression when he gets a chance to meet his daughter, it's going to be like, damn, that's it right there. So, God, that's a good moment. So you got me thinking some positives now, brother. Awesome. So we'll veer back a little bit. So are you always going to stay in Auburndale, or are you ever looking to like migrate to a different location?
I might stay just because of how close to home I am.
Yeah.
I love being close to home. I mean, I got a 10-year-old son. Mm-hmm. That's my dog. That's my boy, my best friend.
Right?
Yeah. So I love being able to be home on time, to, you know, see him with the homework and, you know, talk to him about his day or play video games, whatever, you know, I mean,
that's a cool notion, man. Cause I think especially being an entrepreneur and being a business owner, it's hard to balance that. We've had several conversations where you really have to dissect how you're going to balance your life. And especially when you own a business, cause let's be real, like that business it doesn't physically move, but at the same time it calls you and it's like, "Yo, where you at?" You know what I mean?
It eats at you because it could be the best day of somebody's life.
Yep.
And it could be the worst.
Yeah.
You could have somebody come in. It's like, you know, unfortunately we get people that come in, "Hey, you know, I'm going to a funeral."
Yeah.
Or, hey, you know, when I go, I want that you're gonna have to go cut my hair. I still haven't had to do it.
Yeah.
But I know I'm gonna have to, and it's gonna be crazy. But those of you that I'm gonna have to do it for, I'll be there.
I'll be there. I like that. That's commitment, baby.
I will be there. And it could be, you know, a wedding, a graduation. You're there for all those things, and that's something that escapes us as barbers.
Yeah.
That we don't think about that. We don't think about the human element. Some of them are thinking money, 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 but they're not thinking of, man, I'm making this person feel good for this.
Yeah, the importance of where you're at and what you're doing it for, especially to the human being that you're cutting. Yeah, that's unique, man. I actually didn't even think about that until you kind of pointed it out. That's an awesome thought. So like when you get into those situations, this is kind of a random question that just popped in my head. Like, don't judge me here. I'm just curious. No. So say after, you know, you have a long time clientele, say that person does kind of, you know, move on to the next phase of life. We all get what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Do they get cut after that?
Yeah.
For the open casket stuff?
Yes, there's people that do that.
Really?
I've seen it happen. I've never had to.
Yeah.
But like I said, the moment I have to, I will definitely be there.
That's crazy, dude.
It's gonna be really weird. It's gonna be really tough.
Yeah.
But I will do it.
That's crazy. That's why I was wanting to make sure I'm thinking the same line that you are, because that's crazy. I couldn't imagine that. Like, hey.
Oh, me neither.
once I'm done, like, you won't believe it, but I'm not worried how my hair looks. But some people, that's important, and that's what matters. I feel that.
No, and sometimes the family members as well, because they'll let me know, like,
valid
they'll
point.
let me know, like, hey, you know, he wouldn't have wanted to go out like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm there. And the few times I've had it happen, unfortunately, it's been, you know, an accident or, you know, something like that might have happened after they got a haircut. So I really haven't had to go. Like, they're like, oh, they're fine still, thank God, you know.
That's crazy, bro. I didn't even think about that. Like, there's actual people that want to do that. Yeah, wow, that's wild, dude. That kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, but you know,
it's still though. Like people think about that stuff. So that's nuts, dude. So let me ask you this: when you're going in for your day-to-day operation, right? What time do you usually get in?
Around 8:30.
8:30. What time do you usually leave?
It really depends on when my last person is, but usually 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Wow. Are you there 7 days a week, or?
I'm there 6.
Holy crap.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, it is. But are you guys a 7-day operation?
No. We work Monday through Saturday, so 6.
You got Sundays off?
Yep.
That's good, man. So now, like you said, you kind of brought up into the lifestyle. Like, and you said you got a little man at home. Like, you want him to follow in those footsteps?
I want him to do whatever it is that he wants to do. I will fully support it.
Yeah.
Would I like for him to take it over? Oh yeah, that'd be so dope. But it's whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
It's whatever he wants to do. Now, I will say this. Couple weeks ago, he had like almost like a career day type thing.
Yeah.
I say a couple weeks ago. It was last school year. Time's flying.
2 years ago.
Time's flying. So he says he's having this career day thing, and he's freaking out. He's been freaking out for days. He's like, Papa, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna be. And I'm like, dude, you're 9.
Who cares?
Who cares? You can do whatever. So the day of, he tells me, he's like, oh, we still got that barbershop shirt? And I'm like, yes, he wants to be a fucking barber. I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I could be the boss. I could be the owner. I could just go get the money and you work for me. I'm like, so I'm going to work for you forever? He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
That's how it's going to be.
All right. Yeah, that's going to work out. I'm just going to give everything up the moment you turn 18.
So I was like, I'm just going to continue to work for somebody forever. I'm going to work for you now.
I'm going to smash one more of these. Dude, that's so funny, man. See, it's funny because you kind of hit the nail on the head with want him to get into it, right? But you also have that, as a parent, it is 100% the right thing to do when you say, I want you to do anything that you want to do, right? But we all, and every single one of you that say that you don't, and you have kids, you don't have a preset of what you wish they would do, you're full of shit. So like, I played ball. I played football my entire life. That was my thing. Still to this day, as you can see, we got the helmets on there. Like, football is what I'm obsessed over. It's my hobby, right? And I want my kids, daughter included, to get into that. You know what I mean? But like, I had this weird moment this past year, bro, and it kind of pissed me off a little bit because Avery, my daughter, she's been playing flag football, right? This is going to be her 3rd season playing flag.
Sweet.
And yes, I was super dope about it. And then we get to it, and I'm like getting ready to sign everybody up, and she's like, "Hey, Dad." And I was like, "What's up?" And she's like, "Do I have to play flag football?" Immediately, I was like, what came out in the Envision, like in a movie, right? It was just turned over. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yes, you do. There is no choice. Hey, I was like Denzel from Training Day. Hey, you do not. This is not an option. You need to smoke this. Like, this is how I felt. And then what came out, and I was like in middle of typing her name, and I was like, you don't have to if you don't want to. And she's like, "Okay, great, because I don't want to."
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like,
Wow.
I'm just going to go to my room for the next 4 days. Like, that was it. So I feel you on that, dude. I had one of those moments. Now, my son, on the other hand, naturally, he's one of those, you know how it is, father and son, always wants to. I obsess over football, so he sits, doesn't understand shit on the television, but he's like, you know, trying to follow me, and he loves football, so he wants to get into it. So I connect with you on this, man. I feel you very much on that.
See, I was kind of like that with basketball. I had very high, very unrealistic dreams for somebody under 6 foot for basketball.
Listen.
And I thought, hey, you know, my son might play it.
Nate Robinson, baby. That's all you got to say.
No, but he had bunnies. I don't have that. I don't have that.
The dude could dunk his elbow into the.
No, I don't have that, man.
I feel you, bro. Let me ask you this stereotype question right now. I'm hitting it. So one thing about me and about our podcast, bro, we always try to be, we're very open forum. To us, I'm going to say me, not us, because Keon's not here. But everything to me is funny. Everything can be funny. Stereotypes and everything.
100%.
There's no reason it can't be, right? But how come barbershops obsess over basketball? Why is that the thing? I've never walked into a
thought about that.
Dude, I've never walked into a barbershop and I've never heard people discussing like Antonio Brown and Jerry Rice or this or Randy Moss and Jerry Rice or whoever, Larry Fitzgerald. I've never heard anybody talking about Roger Federer and the best tennis players of all time. It's always basketball.
I think it's because basketball is more of a one-on-one type thing. Like, even though it's a team sport, obviously, one guy can carry that team. That cannot happen in football.
That's accurate.
That cannot happen in football. Like, I don't care how good Patrick Mahomes is. You just saw that week 1.
We did see that week 1.
So,
and that was garbage.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I feel you. So that's the one thing that's always irked me a little bit. I've walked into barbershops and I've been like, what the fuck? Why do we always talk?
I love baseball, but nobody's going to sit there and fight with me over war. And
that's my point, man. No one's going to talk about it. It's like, bro,
I try. Believe me, I try.
Come on, bro. Should Barry Bonds be allowed in the Hall of Fame or
Hell
not?
fucking yes.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Listen, drugs made the sport better. All right? It made you watch. That's what I'm talking about.
Just make a steroid wing and just call it the steroid era.
Put the star next to the name. Be like positive for testosterone. That's it. That's all you got to do, man. You have officially solved one of the world's greatest problems. How to get Barry Bonds into the Hall of Fame.
Either that or just wait for all these old guys to go.
Yeah, that's true.
As soon as they go,
once they go, new generation comes in. They'll just like, just put an asterisk.
I just hope it's not too late for these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That then they don't get to see it.
What's the ballot in Major League Baseball? Is it because I know in football you get like 3 or 4 tries.
I think they get 10 years, but
really,
and then they get an exception ballot after that. So like for me, the biggest one other than Barry Bonds, it's got to be Pete Rose.
Like
how come is Pete Rose not in the Hall of Fame?
It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, he was betting on his own team, so he was betting on his own team to win.
I was gonna say that sounds like a confident man.
Yeah. So I don't understand.
What are we arguing about here?
I really don't.
And it's weird. If I went in and I gambled, the same thing with Calvin Ridley this year, finally coming back, right? He made like an $800 bet on his team.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was even like an official bet. I don't know the super specifics, so don't criticize me here. But what I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure he bet that he would take off. So I mean, and you won't believe it, but insider knowledge, like that dude is him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd bet on me every time if I was Calvin Ridley, not me personally.
But if I'm a fan, I would want my players to do that.
Yeah,
I will want my players to be like, yeah, I'm the man. I'm gonna do this.
I agree, and I think I to be honest, it's kind of a little bit out the wing here. You might as well open the door for all the now players anyway, because to be honest, if you bet against yourself, like people are gonna know.
Yeah,
people are gonna post it on socials and all that stuff. You bet against your team to win, and you throw the game, bro. You would be more hated than Manti Te'o during the whole girlfriend incident, bro. God. And he was voted like the most hated athlete. Oh my
God, yeah.
You would be the most hated person throughout all of history. Like even worse than Casey Anthony. Like, I mean, come on, dude. Let's be real. Sports in this country, sports in the United States.
Oh
like,
no, it's a big deal.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, there's nothing worse than like, wait a second. You didn't try your hardest?
No, you cheated? What?
Holy fuck. Like, what are we talking about?
You mean you cheated and didn't win? What the fuck?
Like, you cheated and didn't win? Holy shit, dude.
What the fuck?
God, dude. So fast forward a little bit, dude. And no, correction. We're going to hit one of our segments real quick. Rewind a little bit. What is bad decisions make better stories, right? So one thing that we found in our podcast is a lot of times when I was growing up, dude, I fucked up so much. I fuck up now consistently on a regular basis, and it pisses everyone in my house off. We all know who we're talking about. But what is a bad decision that you've made that turned out to be the best thing that did or did not happen?
Bad decision.
I know.
Oh.
Or you can just tell everyone you lived like Jesus Christ.
No, that's definitely not true.
You see his face, he was like, oh no.
No, that's definitely not true. My wife will tell you that's definitely not true. Actually, I've always been the type that's like, oh no, everything in the shop is off limits. This is strictly business.
Yeah.
But the shop that I worked at had a salon in the back, and that's actually where I met my wife. And I was always like, no, I'm gonna not trying to holler at this lady. Well, you know what? We've been together 12 years now.
You had to throw down the Mac. Like you had to throw it down. Be like, listen, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You threw the Ron Burgundy at her, is what you're saying.
No, it was kind of like that. It was kind of like that. It actually was kind of like that. It was kind of smooth though. I told her she was getting her hair dyed for the first time. She was like, I've never dyed my hair. I'm 23 or 22 at the moment. And she goes, what color do you think I should do? And I'm like, well, if you do brown, you won't be back too fast. Yeah. If you do red, if you want to see me again, you'll do red. She's like, why? I was like, because it fades out faster. You'll be back in a week. And then you'll see me again.
Ooh.
And here we are.
That was smooth. I'm not going to lie. That went down like those the 1800 whiskeys. Smooth. You know what I'm saying? That's good. So 12 years now.
12 years now.
Congratulations, dude. That's fantastic. That's awesome. So that's a great story, dude. That's awesome. And that turned out to be the best thing. No fraternizing, but I got a little bit 12 years later. That's good, dude. So I'll tell you what. I'm going to share one today too. And this one's a little bit dramatic, right? But actually it turned out to be a great thing. So there was a time in my past life, right? In my past life, when I'm talking about when I was a child. So everyone on the podcast has watched, bro, knows I've been in the shit several times. I've always been a wild kid. But when I was in high school, dude, I wasn't one of those kids. Like I was a jock, but I never drank in high school. So I tell you that because I want you to know I did this sober, which is stupid. So I went to my old high school and it was, I don't know, it's middle of the night and I show up there with a buddy of mine and I knew how to break into one of the doors and we had a candy stand, right? It was called something else, but they had like Gatorade, they had Snickers, they had Twix, all that stuff. And at the time, like I was an up and coming athlete and as a sophomore, I was a fucking stud. And I ended up we ended up that night breaking into this place because I was like, dude, it's 1 a.m. No one's going to be there, right? So we took like $4,000 worth of Gatorade, candy, sodas, all this shit, right? And it was horrible, dude. It was a piece of shit thing to do. And it's weird because like I played sports at that school, and I was actually, even as a sophomore, such an integral part of the sports program there because I was a great athlete, and I was always super outspoken and advocating for all, good things, and always showed up to workouts early, left late. Like I was the dude on paper. Behind the scenes, your boy was like, yo, what can I get away with? You know what I mean? And I didn't get away with shit. So we ended up doing that. And then, the next day was 2 days later, because that was Saturday night. The next day, Monday, I come into school, and everybody was talking about it, and everybody had heard about what happened. And I was like, I didn't tell nobody. You know what I mean? So like we get there, they pull me into a room, dude. I'll never forget it. And then they were like, bro, what were you doing Saturday? And I was like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Da, 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 da. I was playing with the homies. Like, we're all good. And they let me sit there and say this for about 2 hours. Finally, they wheeled in a television. Remember they had those televisions on those crates, bro?
The fucking AV department?
Yes, dude. Wheeled one of them in and pressed play in the security camera. And you can see it because I was a skateboarder at the time, and I had a pair of Rodney Mullen globes. Shout out to those, bro. And I had duct tape all over the front because I used to skateboard in them all the time. And
scratch them all up.
Oh, yeah. And all you see right when you walk in the door on security tape is me in my duct tape shoes, and I'm wearing the same fucking shoes that you see in the camera. And I'm wearing the same fucking gym shorts that I'm wearing in the camera. It's the University of Michigan on the side of it. And I was like, yeah, that was me. After 2.5 hours, I've been like, nah, bro, why would I do this? Come on, man, I got a future ahead of me. What the fuck, son? Then as soon as I opened on camera, I was like, yeah, that was me. You got me.
Did you predate Cam Newton?
Dog, predated. There's no doubt, dude. Dog, it was terrible. Sad part is, yes, there was a laptop stolen, but that wasn't me. We didn't steal the laptop. They reported it stolen. I think it was bullshit. Either way, it's a whole conspiracy, all right? So long story short, dude, it was a funny moment, and now it's a funny moment. At the time, my family was absolutely devastated, right? And lo and behold, it fucked up my entire football career because that night, dude, I went home. I may have told this part of the story on the podcast before, but I went home, and they took us to the police station. Excuse me. And when they took us to the police station, I remember we sat there, bunch of other shit. My dad came to get me, and they were still deciding what they were going to do because they didn't arrest us. We were just, honestly, I was 15 or 16 at the time, and they were just like, these kids are fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. So I went home, and I'll never forget it, dude. My mom, my dad, my brother was laughing his ass off. And he was like, bro, you're so fucking stupid, bro.
You almost pulled the greatest candy heist.
Almost ever, dude. Almost. I walk in the door, and right then the phone rings. And my dad's like, dude, get the phone. And I was like, all right, man, my bad. So I pick up the phone, and I said, hello. I said, hello, is Michael Bruck there? And I was like, yeah, hold on. So I handed it to my dad. My dad's name is also Michael. And he was like, hello. They start talking. I can't hear it. He goes, this is for you. And I was like, oh. And I said, hello. And he goes, hey, is this Mike? And I said, yeah, it's me. And he was like, hey, this is Chan Gailey, the head coach at University of Georgia Tech. Right? And I was like, oh my God. My dad had picked me up from a police station 20 minutes before you called, brother. It's not a good moment. So he's like, how are you doing? And I was like, I've been better. He's like, oh, all right. How's spring ball going? And I said, well, I'm not going to be playing spring ball. And he's like, why? I said, I got in a little bit of trouble. And he's like, oh, man, that sucks. Well, have a great night. He just hung up.
Oh, my God.
Dog, it was the worst. I hung up, and then he looked at me, and he was like, that was college coach, wasn't it? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh, that's called a toilet, and your fucking dreams sucking down it. And I was like, fuck, dude. So bad decision. Funny stories come out, especially, 20 years later. But led me to going to the college that I did go to, and it actually gave me my kids. So it was a horrible decision, but led to the two best things that helped me change my life forever.
That's awesome.
There we go. So I feel really good about that.
No. That's fucking dope.
Thank you.
And you almost pulled the greatest candy heist of all.
Almost pulled the greatest candy heist of all time. I take credit for this. That's what I'm talking about,
all
dude.
fucking time.
Dude. So what do you what else you guys got going on in the shop, man? Do you guys have any unique things that happen or anything you put together? Or?
Well, as of now, yeah, we're looking into competing in different things because they do barber battles. I don't know if you've
really
heard of those.
Fuck, dude. What are
so those things, they're like showcases, almost like a car show.
Yeah.
You show up, you bring your model, you cut his hair. There's different little categories. So they'll do, like, let's say for example, they'll do best fade with beard.
Yeah.
And you bring your guy and you do the whole thing and they judge it. So they got bigger ones, they got smaller ones. We're gonna try to attack some of those. See how we come up on those.
Just kind of get some notoriety, throw some guys out there, that kind of thing.
It's more of a, I guess, measuring yourself a little bit.
Really?
Plus also, like, again, notoriety, like you said, and just getting some more eyes. It's almost like a college program, really.
That's dope.
Because then other barbers see you, and if you own the barbershop, maybe they'll want to come to your team.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. And also, like I said, like for me personally, it's about measuring.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys go, oh no, I gotta win. No, I go and it's like, if there's 4 guys that are gonna be, first through fourth or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I see those guys and I'm like, you know what? Can I cut in a shop with them? Would I go hungry if I go to a shop with them?
Yeah.
Fuck no. I'm just as good.
Let's not dice this kid up. Like,
I'm just as good. It's just a matter of appreciation. So it really depends on who the judges are and stuff like that. So
yeah. So where do they usually hold those?
it really depends on who's hosting them.
Yeah. Also, like shops host them.
So certain shops host them.
Wow.
Certain brands host them. Like they got real big ones. There's a huge one in Connecticut once a year.
Really?
Connecticut Barber Expo is the biggest barber event in the world.
Wow.
Las Vegas was just last weekend, which was, from what I've seen on social, has been super dope.
Yeah.
So I would like to get back into that.
Yeah.
But we're putting more time into the barbershop and with the family and everything. It's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. It takes a little bit more time to grow the foundation a little bit.
For sure.
That's awesome, man. So, we just came back from Vegas.
Oh, nice.
We did, yeah. Me and our producer, we went and we shot a podcast with a guy named Overflow. And he's like a big time OG in the gamer streaming, and now he's a big player in a company called Happy Punch and all this other stuff that does the influencer boxing scene. He was an undercard fighter for the Logan Paul versus KSI fight.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
nice.
So he was a cool dude to interview. But yeah, dude, Vegas was wild, bro.
No, I've never been.
You never been to Vegas?
I've never been. I'm
over here talking shit. Like, bro, I went there for 36 hours one time. Like, that's all I've ever been there.
That's 36 more hours than I have.
Hey, you never been there, bro? Dude. So like, how would you be able to get to one of those events though? Is it like being able to generate the money? Do you provide for the barbers you're going to bring out? That kind of thing?
You would have to provide for whoever you're cutting.
Yeah.
That you got to take. You also, everything that you were going to spend there or that person's going to spend there as well.
Yeah.
And your entry fees, you got to pay for entry fees and things like that.
Fees. Damn, dude. So when's the next one?
I believe the next big one like that would be all the way to Connecticut next year.
Dude. Okay. So
which I've been to and is super dope.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't have the goal to try to compete.
Yeah.
But now that I'm, understanding a little bit better of the game, I think I would.
What are some of those cuts look like? Do you have like super unique designs, like, or is it just like?
It depends on the category. So like that category will have really super unique designs. Like I actually competed in one where I don't know how this dude didn't win, and I wish I remembered his name. But this guy was cutting the back of the guy's head, and I didn't compete in design.
Yeah.
So I'm watching, and when his model stood up, he had a suit on, a white suit. That's already dope.
Yeah.
He had a white suit on, and it was backwards. And when I look at the back of the dude's head, he drew a fucking Colonel Sanders on the back of the dude's head. And it looked like Colonel Sanders was just standing right there.
Get the fuck out of here.
And I'm like, he won.
Bro, that's dope.
He won. He fucking won.
Shit.
He didn't win.
Bro,
he didn't even place.
What?
So, you know, there's a lot of politics that come with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm not going to get into
that
those.
That would piss me off.
But I think he should have won that for sure.
Dude, no matter creativity, like that's dope. That's insane. So we're gonna vouch it right now. So whenever you do get back into that game, you let us know, and we're gonna bring the crew and we're gonna follow you there. We're gonna shoot a vlog.
Let's do it.
Because that would be fucking dope, bro.
Let's do it.
Because we just finished a deal that we're doing with Death Grip Wax, and in November. We're going to Daytona Beach and we're shooting for them. It's like a giant mustache and beard competition.
Oh, that's cool. That's dope.
Dog. This shit. He showed me some examples. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I mean, we're talking about all kinds of shit. There's like dudes with like 7 spikes, like coming out like
dope.
Crazy beards, bro. Things you couldn't even imagine. Like everybody always thinks of like the curl, right? Yep. There's dudes that had like 1 curl, 2 curl, 3 curl, like 8 curls going all the way up. And then they have like chained down like a Viking down the center, dude. It's wild. So we're going to shoot that convention in November. So whenever you get a chance, bro, like if you decide to make that decision to go in there, we're fucking coming because
we'll do that. We'll do that for sure.
Cool as fuck, dude.
No, we'll do that for sure. It's a dope experience. It really is. It's super dope. And then just the community, learning from different people is hella dope. Like I don't know if you ever seen it, but the beef that there's in the game between one shop and the other.
I was going to ask you next. Yep.
That stuff is so corny, bro. Like it's so stupid because at the end of the day, like I'm not here to, you know, impress another barber. I'm here to impress the clients. They're the ones that pay my bills.
There you go.
It's like, I don't care what, you know, Joe Blow 145 at, you know, Instagram cares, you know, or says about my stuff. I don't care. There it is. I like it. About that shit.
I like it, dude. So realistically, when you have like real shop owners, it's really a lot of mutual respect, and it's like, hey, bro, let's help us get up in the game. It's like a rise to the top thing.
Absolutely,
bro. I fucking love that. That's the one thing I'll say is it's a little bit unique. It's a little bit it's difficult, especially in podcasting game. Like I've been fortunate enough to work with a couple people now that are in the podcast game. Like some of my favorite dudes. I loved hanging out with them, and the Some People Suck podcast. If you get a chance, check out some of their stuff. They're very different from the way we do things, but their shit is just like, it's just you know, it's testosterone. It's dudes, not for the ladies. But they just sit around and they just talk shit, and they'll talk about football, they'll talk about UFC, they'll talk about all this, but then they venture off and they have these creative mindsets that like dive into different sections of the world. You know what I mean? And I had the pleasure of being able to sit with them in one of their podcasts, which was absolutely dope. Then the other guy we did in Vegas, Overt, huge social media presence, humongous, especially in the gamer world. And he was real awesome. He was very open book. He was super cool. And not to mention, he was really beneficial when it came to like, cause we're still, you know, we're a growing podcast. We got to push our content out. He was really cool with collabing and doing all of that. And it was awesome to work with them. But there's been a couple people that I've having been in and around and understanding how some of that stuff works. Some people are pretty shitty about it, and it's content, you know, content thievery or this or that, and it's growing into a weird concept because people think about making content. It's like a comedian stealing another comedian's joke. It's weird, and it's just like, who gives a fuck in certain sections, but at the same time, like there's certain bits and some people are just not that great to work with. And I've reached out, I'm not going to say who, but I've reached out to quite a few podcasts to collab because I've wanted to. I'm just a curious human being, and I love the idea of getting out of my own skin and like, what's it like to be a fucking barber for a day? Like, that's got to be a wild story. You know what I mean? Imagine the craziest day. So
just think of the craziest podcast conversation the whole day.
That's it. So we should film at your shop every day.
That's literally the whole day. And there's always, you could be talking about something and somebody will walk in that has absolutely no clue what you're talking about. And they're like, yeah, I was there. I saw this. I saw that. I'm like,
okay.
Bullshit. It's like I call bullshit.
He's like the Goonies, man. He's like, no, Michael Jackson did not stop in my house to use the bathroom, but his sister did. Like one of those.
Yes.
Right.
It happens all day, all the time, all day, all the time. So, I want to shout out my guys over there at Finesse. They're absolutely hilarious. We joke all day long. Yeah. There's always something. There's always some point that we end up talking about that is just off the wall. It's awesome.
That's cool, man. That is actually really cool. Going into a place where you get to hang out. You get to hang out with your boys or your people. I don't want to exclude the ladies. There are a lot of fantastic lady barbers. Mm-hmm. But you get to hang out with your people, and you get to actually have a good time while you do things at work. And I think drop a little bit of tidbit for you people at home. Sometimes the money is not always worth it. Sometimes having a little bit of joy in your life, especially for the thing that we call work, because that's the thing we spend 65 to 75% of our life doing. Not to mention the people that are money chasers like myself. I can find myself doing 90% of my life going toward my job. And I make that mistake, but I have two midgets out there that kind of keep me in tune. You know what I mean? So if you guys get the chance, listen to what was just said. I get to spend time with my people in my shop. I think that's awesome. So we'll kind of migrate into our final segment, dude. We call it Spice of the Week. It's the fucking Spice of the Week, son. So the Spice of the Week is you have to name something for the peoples that happened in the last week that made your week a little bit better, right? Something that could either be a little bit, some people have that dog shit week where it sucked ass, but hey, I remember this happened. It's cool. It can be very big. It can be very small. There can be some deep things. There can be some tiny little things. I wish Keon was here because every time we do Spice of the Week, he's a very deep human being. Yeah. He's always got something like, man, it just changed my thought process and it made me feel real good. Did my thing. You know what I'm saying? And then for me, like, bro, I had a batch of chicken wings from Buffalo Wild Wings, and that shit was delicious. Like, it's just the little things that you just remember. You know what I mean? So, but either way, it is up to you. If you like, I can go first, or you can lead on this, whatever you'd like.
We just booked our vacation for the year. I mean, we normally do a few, but this year has been a little bit tougher. Yeah. With a lot of things going on. But yeah, we just booked our vacation. We'll be nice. We'll be. So go ahead and lead off and say my Spice of the Week. Yep. So my Spice of the Week is we just booked our vacation, baby. So we out.
Fucking dope. It's absolutely fantastic. That's awesome. So my Spice of the Week, dive into this real deep, right? So in one of our last podcasts, we had a very, very good friend of mine. He's an awesome fucking dude. His name is Dan. He's a SWAT officer in Florida. And we got on to the topics of the top rank your top cereals. Oh, and I mean, let's be real. That's something that's going to smack. Like, imagine you throw that out in the barbershop.
Oh, no.
Like, no,
that
bro.
Might be Civil War, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Top 3 cereals. So I went through and I told the guys, like, hey, I have a little bit of seasonal things. If I had to rank, now that I'm a little bit more understanding where I'm at, I've had time to digest, I would give an overall top 3. We'll do that another time. But today, as a matter of fact, I got a text message from him and another one of my really good friends. And he hit me. He sent me a picture of the Count Chocula that I put at number 3. And or no, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He sent me a picture of Cheerios with like oats added in and some other stuff added in. He was like, bro, sometimes you just got to, next thing you know, fast forward 30 minutes, we're going back and forth and we are like, dog, it's like, I'm talking about like, it's the 4th quarter in the Super Bowl and we're fucking going, I'm like, bro, you're fucking insane. What is wrong with you, dude? Absolutely not. There's no such like kicks. They have a Kit Kat cereal now. And I'm sitting here like, listen, bro, this is something I definitely put on my try list, but absolutely not is this going in the top 10.
It's like, fucking chocolate cereal.
It's chocolate cereal.
It's all
Thank
it is.
you.
It's all it is.
Thank
There's
you,
no
son.
wafer to it. I tried it.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. I have evidence here. So next thing you know, we go 30 minutes down the road and we're just blasting each other. And then at the end of the conversation, get to the end of the night, and we were like, all of us at the same time, we were both like, we need to do this more, bro. Like, just loved having the conversation. You realize, like, damn, that little 30 minutes of dude talk, just kind of like, man,
it's awesome.
Good day. Fast forward, I know for a fact in 2 or 3 days, I'm going to be telling people, like, I'm going to be calling people at my job, bro, you won't believe what me and my boys were talking about the other night. Like, it's the cereals, bro. He said Kit Kat cereal. So either way, it's just, like I said, it's the little things I know that's going to stick with me forever. But anyway, dude, we're gonna wrap this thing up again, dude. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Fucking blast. Are you okay with possibly announcing the idea we talked about in there, like the shop talk?
Oh yeah. No, yeah, I'm totally down for that.
Here we go. So obviously we're gonna venture in. This is gonna be possibly a new segment. We got a little time. We got to set some things up, and we also got to get some things on a schedule. But we'll figure out where we can start it off. But there's been introduction conversation locking down the idea of having fucking shop talk, son. So we'll be going to the barbershop in Auburndale. We'll be going to Finesse, and we'll be sitting down with a group of different people. We'll have a couple different topics, whether it be sports talk, whether it be life talk, whether it be parent talk, whatever it may be. Introduce a different segment of the podcast that we can bring to you guys. And that's going to be fucking great.
That's going to be dope.
So in other words, now the feet has hit the ground. All we did was mention it. Now it's got to go in motion because we announced it to you guys.
Yes.
So before we wrap up, dude, do me a favor. Give me a lean forward. Look right into that camera. Tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find your awesome business, and where they can find your top-class barbers.
We're located in Auburndale at Magnolia Avenue, 610 Magnolia Avenue, inside of Modern Me. We're on the second floor. We're big boys. We get up there every day. But I got my guys will give you the best service guaranteed. I really have no doubts on them. If I had a bet on my team, I would bet the house.
Listen, I'd be fucking Pete Rose right now.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to tell you guys, no matter what. So, do you have socials that you'd like to shout out?
Yes, actually, my personal social is It's Finesse Lou on all platforms, and Finesse Barber Lounge on all platforms. So that's the
awesome.
barbershop one is Finesse Barber Lounge, and mine is It's Finesse Lou.
Absolutely fantastic. So if you guys get a chance, go on Instagram. Make sure you give them a follow. Make sure you guys check them out. You're gonna love the styles. I know I did, because it's actually how we connected. I had a few of my friends that got some cuts. I started looking at some of the clips he was posting up. Great fucking haircuts, great styles, some unique stylist type stuff. So it was awesome. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Later.